Okay, thank you very much for joining us for this press conference. It's basically to inform you that the 23rd Party Congress of the CPIM successfully culminated, completing its entire agenda in the 5 days that we earmarked for the Party Congress. And the highlight of this was the culmination of the Party Congress, where it was a virtual surging sea of people who had come out to greet the party at the end of the Party Congress. And this sort of a popular people support and that sort of thing was rarely witnessed in this enthusiastic manner as we saw in Kannur. So that was, in that sense, that only displayed the depth of the links that the party has with the people in Kerala. And that has been a very positive, inspirational moment. The basic document of the Party Congress is the draft political resolution. That was adapted with unanimity, and near unanimity in everything, and virtually unanimous elections to the Central Committee, unanimous elections of the Politburo, unanimous election of the General Secretary, and the adoption of these documents. So this Congress, if there's any one way to define it, this has been a Congress of resolve and a Congress of determination to realize that resolve. And the resolve is essentially the question that in today's conditions, it is absolutely imperative for the isolation and defeat of the BJP. This is necessary for various reasons simultaneously. One, to safeguard the secular democratic character of the Indian Republic. Number two, to protect the Indian Constitution, which is under severe assault in all the fundamental aspects that are there in the Constitution. Number three, to protect the independence and the independent authority of the institutions created by the Parliament, like the Parliament itself, like created by the Constitution, like the Parliament itself, the Judiciary, the Election Commission, the CBI, the ED. All these institutions have an independent status and an autonomous existence to serve as checks and balances against the government's overreach in violating the constitutional guarantees. Each one of these institutions is being undermined. So this overall undermining of the Indian constitutional order, that is to facilitate the realization of the Hindutva communal project of the fascistic RSS. And the BJP, as the political arm of the RSS, is only utilizing or misutilizing the government to achieve this objective. Therefore, to isolate and defeat the BJP is essential in order to safeguard the character of our republic, our constitution, and therefore the rights that people enjoy under constitutional guarantees. Now, this is also required, the isolation and defeat of the BJP, in order to advance the people's struggles and improve the people's livelihood issues. The economic policies that has been pursued, the neoliberal reforms are leading to a naked loot of our country's assets. Large-scale privatization of not only the public sector, but the entire assets of the country, particularly its mineral wealth and the wealth of our nation. The further strengthening of the communal corporate nexus that is existing in our country, the promotion of the worst form of crony capitalism, the legalization of political corruption that is taking place, accompanied by growing authoritarianism and attacks on the democratic rights and civil liberties of the people, where any dissent of this government is treated as anti-national, and the indiscriminate use of UAPA, of sedition laws, etc., These are the worst form of authoritarian attacks on people's democratic rights and civil liberties. All these are happening simultaneously. So therefore, to sharpen people's struggles and to protect the livelihood of the people, improve their living conditions, it is essential that this government must go. So in order to achieve this is the resolve of the Congress. The isolation and the defeat of the BJP. The determination is how to achieve this. And in order to achieve this, the Party Congress adopted a four-pronged approach. This is not a sequential four-pronged, first, second, third, fourth, one after the other. No, these are simultaneous. Concurrently, these four will have to be adopted. The first of these, in order to take up this challenge and realize this resolve, is to further strengthen significantly the independent strength of the CPIM. And for this, what are the organizational steps that are required? That was separately discussed in the political organization report, and the necessary conclusions were drawn and tasks worked out of how party should implement these tasks in order to further strengthen our independent strength. Along with strengthening ourselves independently, strengthening the unity of the left forces in India, because the left alternative has to be projected, and forging the left and democratic front of not only political parties, but also of social movements and people's movements. These forces will have to be brought together under the umbrella of a left and democratic front with an alternative policy platform, which is the alternative to the ruling class policies that they are pursuing today. And along with this, to forge the broadest mobilization of secular forces against the Hindutva communalism. So these four aspects, going concurrently, will have to be implemented in order to achieve this objective of isolating and defeating the BJP. So as and when elections come, we said that the task will be to maximize the pooling of anti-BJP vote. And that is how our electoral tactics will be worked out, state by state, depending on the concrete situation in each state. So this, in a nutshell, is what we have discussed and decided upon in the Party Congress. And as you are aware, I think one of the most vibrant forms of inner party democracy is observed meticulously by the CPIM. Our political resolution draft is released 2 months in advance for the entire party rank and file to actually send in their amendments. We have received 4,001 such amendments pre-Congress, and they were considered, and a report on pre-Congress amendments was presented and adopted by the Party Congress. In the Party Congress, every delegate has the right to move amendments. There were 390 amendments we received, along with 12 suggestions. Those were also dealt with, and a list of those that have been accepted, that was circulated and approved. And on that basis, the political resolution would be finalized and would be sent out. So that is the direction in which the CPM decided. We have elected an 85-member Central Committee, which is 10 less than what we had earlier of 95. The idea was to have more compact bodies where you can have meaningful discussions, and also have younger bodies in terms of age composition. So there are 17 new members in this 85. And naturally, new members are always younger than the older ones that have been replaced or retired. We implemented the 75-year age limit for the Central Committee, except for one exception, and that was the Chief Minister of Kerala, Pinarayi Vijayan. But for that, all members are below this age limit that the Central Committee prescribed. And of this 85, 15 are women, which is also one of the highest percentages that we have. That's nearly 30% out of 85. I mean, nearly 20% out of 85. That is, you have 15. So this, in a nutshell, is what we decided in the party congress, and all the other details of who are the members of the Central Committee, the invitees, the Control Commission, all that is there, been circulated to you.